You know that feeling when you're trying to make a new habit stick? Maybe you want to start meditating, or maybe you're trying to drink more water, but life just kind of gets in the way? Well, today we are breaking down a really simple but incredibly powerful technique called habit stacking. And honestly, it might just change everything for you. Let's dive in. Come on, be honest. You get this huge burst of motivation, right? You start super strong and then poof. A few days later, you're right back where you started. Look, it's a completely universal frustration, and it's why so many of our best intentions just fall flat. But what if the problem isn't your willpower at all? I absolutely love this quote from the Elevate edit because it hits the nail on the head. This isn't about grinding harder or doing this massive life overhaul. Not at all. It's about working smarter, making tiny changes that fit almost invisibly into the life you're already living. So, let's get right into the mechanics of this so-called ultimate life hack. We're going to see exactly how it helps you build new routines without all that usual struggle. Okay, so the core idea here is brilliantly simple. Habit stacking is just the practice of taking a new behavior you want to adopt and stacking it right on top of a habit that's already completely automatic. You're essentially piggybacking the new habit onto something your brain already does without even thinking about it. And believe it or not, this entire powerful technique boils down to one simple little formula. After my current habit, I will do my new habit. That's it. This one sentence acts as a super clear, specific instruction for your brain. It gets rid of all the guesswork and that feeling of, oh, should I do it now? So why on earth is this so effective? Well, it's because our brains are basically routine machines. They love cues. By anchoring a new behavior to one that's already established, you totally lower the mental barrier to getting started. It creates this awesome domino effect where one good habit just naturally leads to another. You can almost think of it like compound interest for your own personal growth. This isn't just some clever trick. It is deeply rooted in how our brains are actually wired. So let's take a quick peek at the science behind stacking to see how it literally rewires our routines from the inside out. Habit stacking works because it cleverly hijacks the brain's natural four-step habit loop. First, your existing habit, that's the cue. This immediately triggers a craving because your brain knows a reward is coming. The new habit you perform is the response. And finally, that little feeling of accomplishment you get, that's the reward, and it's what locks in the loop for next time. And this whole process literally rewires your brain through two key functions. You've got neuroplasticity, that's your brain's amazing ability to build and strengthen new connections every time you repeat something. And at the same time, you have synaptic pruning, which clears out the weaker, unused connections. So every single time you complete your stack, you are physically making that new habit stronger while letting the old, unwanted pathways just fade away. Okay, enough theory. Now for the really fun part, actually putting this into practice. Let's walk through a super simple 3-step action plan to build your very first habit stack right now. All right, step 1, just make a quick list of your anchor habits. These are things you do every single day without fail, like brushing your teeth or pouring your morning coffee. Step 2, pick a new habit that is small and specific. And I mean really small, like doing 2 push-ups or 1 minute of stretching. Finally, step 3, pair them up using that simple formula we just talked about. Let's look at some real-world examples. It could be as simple as, after I pour my coffee, I will drink a glass of water. Or maybe, after I brush my teeth, I will do 10 squats. Or even, after I get into bed, I will read just 1 page of a book. The whole key here is to make the new habit so ridiculously easy that it feels harder not to do it. Now, once you get the hang of the basics and you're feeling comfortable, we can start to explore some more advanced strategies to really take your habit-building game to the next level. We so often fall into this trap that James Clear warns about in his incredible book, Atomic Habits. We think that to get big results, we have to take these huge, dramatic actions. But the real secret to change that actually lasts, it's a lot more subtle, and it starts with how you see yourself. And this brings us to a really crucial idea. Focus on your identity, not just the outcomes. Lasting change always starts from the inside out. So instead of a goal like, I want to lose 10 pounds, try an identity-based one. I am the type of person who prioritizes my fitness. When your habits become an expression of your identity, they're not a chore anymore. You're just being you. Okay, here's another powerhouse technique for you. It's called temptation bundling. This is where you link something you need to do with something you really want to do. So, for example, you only let yourself listen to your favorite true crime podcast while you're folding laundry. It's a fantastic way to make those less than exciting tasks way more enjoyable. Now, let's get real for a second. Habit stacking is amazing, but it's not a magic bullet. It's not going to solve everything overnight. So, what do you do when stacking just doesn't feel like it's quite enough? First off, just remember that building a truly automatic habit takes time. I mean, studies show it can take anywhere from 18 days to over 200 days for a new behavior to really lock in. The goal here is not speed, it is all about consistency. So please be patient with yourself. And try your best to avoid these common traps. The absolute biggest mistake is trying to do way too much way too soon. Start so small it feels silly. Make sure your anchor habit is something you do every single day, no matter what. And most importantly, if you miss a day, it's not a failure. It's just a data point. Just get right back on track the next day. It's always progress over perfection. And hey, if a new habit feels way too complex or just overwhelming to stack, you can try another approach called shaping. This is where you gradually build up the behavior in tiny little increments. So for example, if your goal is to walk a mile a day, your very first step might just be putting on your walking shoes and standing by the door. That's it. Each day you add one tiny step until you hit that bigger goal. Look, at the end of the day, habit stacking is a framework for building a better life, not through massive, exhausting efforts, but through small, consistent, and really smart steps. It's all about progress, not perfection. So the only question left to ask is, what tiny, almost effortless habit are you going to stack first?